As usual, another weekend done and another weekend full of overreaction. This is Two Loose Cannons. I'm Liam.
I'm Ross.
What was the biggest overreaction of the week?
Well, the biggest overreaction was the tens of thousands of messages I got from West Coast supporters asking will Liam apologise after the game against the Crows. So I'll give this over to you, mate, because I'm sure you.
Well, first of all, let me ask you a question.
Have you got your speech done? So you can.
No. We had live off script.
Go on.
First of all, let me ask you. What am I apologising for?
Well,
because I know how you deal. You deal in wins and losses.
Well, I mean, I think that the apology comes because you said they had nothing.
They still have a
crap team,
and I couldn't stand by that.
They took you guys to the absolute limit, and a couple of things that had just fallen their way, they probably could have won that game. So, it's one of those where, no, I don't think you need to apologize. It's like,
no, and I won't be
early in the year, I said, what's his name? The ruckman for Sydney.
Grundy
was, I'm glad we didn't get him. And then, you look at his last 6-7 weeks and, so look, they can make you look foolish sometimes.
They can, but I'm dealing with facts here, and they are West Coast are the worst team across a 4-year stretch.
So let me ask you this, okay? We've done that to death about how bad they are over the last 4 or 5 years. Okay, let me ask you this: what did you see over the weekend? Do you see promise for them? Do you see that they can actually build? See, that's what I've been talking about. I think they can take that effort.
No, I don't.
I think there's something they can build on there. But so you don't believe. You still don't believe.
Let's put it this way: if your supporters are clapping you at halftime because you're leading, I don't care if we're ladder leaders.
Yeah,
but clapping the performance, what's that tell you?
They're happy. They're probably where they're expecting a 10.
Okay, so that tells you what? One game this season they've turned up with real genuine effort.
There has been a couple of games. I think there's been a couple of games they've turned up with.
So they've beat St Kilda, and they challenged Collingwood in
Melbourne.
Marvel.
Yeah,
that's the word I was looking for.
Yeah.
What else?
Well, there was
you're telling me 3 out of 20.
Right. They had an opportunity to probably spank Richmond. They didn't. They had an opportunity, I think, to beat North Melbourne. They didn't. So look, they haven't beat, but they've shown glimpses. They've shown halves. They've shown 3/4 of really good footy. I expected it.
Good footy.
I texted
you.
I thought
you're a bit generous in your old
I thought they were good. I thought they were hard, and I watched that game. I thought they were hard. They were tough. They were in and under. They did everything you needed to do as a team to get that ball, to get it forward. They kicked goals. When you guys took the lead, I thought, this is it. You're just going to roll them, and they came back, and they fought you all the way. And then I texted you, and I said to you at the beginning of the last quarter, you're going to roll these. In fact, sorry, at half time, I said, you're going to roll these guys by 8 goals. I said, you'll just blow them away in the second half. Third quarter finishes, and I'm still sitting there thinking, when are you guys going to react? Mm-hmm. So, for the most part, I thought they played well and above themselves. Now, can they sustain that effort? Maybe not. They had no read.
Yeah.
Look, so... I hardly means hardly having a great year. He was no row in the first year of his year, was he? He's not playing that standard, but still, he helped.
You play that game style they played, and the first quarter compared to the final 3 quarters is chalk and cheese. So first quarter, they tried to take it man on man. I think we ended up with something like 16-17 inside 50s to 5.
Yeah,
took a 2-goal lead, and that's when they decided, right, well, this can't continue. Otherwise, we're going to get belted by 100 points. Yeah. So what they did. And look, I don't blame them. They've looked to minimise their loss, and it's helped what that they brought. And so in that first quarter, they still brought effort. They still brought hardness. They brought their forwards up and left only a couple in their forward line. So once that ball was bounced, that's it. They pushed right up and made the game a dogfight. That's all they did. You can't win games of football.
But that was good tough footy, though. I thought it was good tough footy. Yeah. I like that sort of approach to a footy game. I like it when players go in and it's hard and it's at the body and it's at the ball and it's a matter of who's willing to get in and under.
So why doesn't
do the grubby?
Yeah, and so I went across and looked because I knew that I'd be asked about this. And I watched highlights of that St Kilda game. So they didn't dip in as hard. The Collingwood game, look, they had it on their terms, but they didn't dip in as hard. Yeah. That game, yes, on the weekend against the Crows, they did dip in hard. And made it ugly. But as far as what could they do that across every week? No, they can't.
No, and you can't sustain that.
And the fact is, the way that they set that game up to play, you're not winning many games of football because it's so taxing what they did. And it's not a game style that would stack up week after week against good teams.
Okay.
Fact is, look, Crows set the tone probably on Thursday night by resting Walker. It gets into the psyche as a player.
Hardly being your best player.
No. But it sets that thing of managed. Dress it up as a little bit of a niggle. Put calf in there or something. No one needs to know.
Because if it's a calf, people are going to expect him to miss 4.
Oh, no. Well, then you can go minor hamstring awareness. Well, what was that shit that they talked about?
Yeah, hamstring awareness.
Hamstring awareness. What does that mean?
Back awareness. You could
exactly.
He's had a bad
dress it up.
Back at me.
And then all of a sudden that stops that mindset.
Look,
the way the weekend's games, and I'm not making excuses, panned out. It was sort of, it gave us a bit of false comfortableness, I'll call it, comfort.
Yeah.
And they didn't come out anywhere near as sharp as what they could have if they knew that there was more to play for.
But did you expect them to, either in the second quarter or after halftime, to just go out there and blow West Coast away? You didn't?
No. They had a...
Because I did. I actually did think you'd just go out there and...
We kept them in it because we didn't, turn up and really crack in as well as we could have.
So previous to that game, you said you were worried about the fact there was a couple of milestones and there was the retirement of McGovern, and you thought that might spur them on.
And it did. They had McGovern addressed the pre-game.
Yeah.
But again, I listened to Matthew Nixon. Did you hear what he said after that game?
I did. Yeah, he was very... Yeah.
He was actually quite happy with the win. Yeah. And I'll point back to the last time the Crows were top of the ladder. Round 7, 2017, Bay, Launceston, where we got absolutely belted off the park by bottom team North Melbourne.
Yep.
Now, that Crows team ended up going on to play a grand final and ended up losing.
Yep.
And I felt that performance, and there was a couple throughout the year, and you couldn't say the same about Richmond that year, but I thought Richmond started to really kick on as that year went on.
Yeah.
That Crows team was mentally weak.
Yeah.
And not mentally weak as in they had to endure a lot. That was the nucleus of the group that lost Phil Walsh. So they had to come through all that. So I'm not questioning that side of things. I'm questioning when they were challenged on field, they threw the bundle in. The difference I see with this team, they were challenged and they could have easily thrown that bundle in on the weekend and they still got up over the line. So look, I
never thought you would try.
No, but in the past we have.
Yeah.
And
fair enough.
They're in a different situation now in terms that when you're on top of the ladder, you're not the chasers anymore.
Yeah.
They're now the hunter.
That's right.
And they're going to have to get used to this. And fortunately, there's only two minor round games, and then ladder position doesn't count for much because then the position is set.
Whether or not you got the next year.
Exactly.
So I apologise, West Coast fans, on behalf of...
Don't apologise. What are you apologising for?
Because you're not...
You're not getting that new Port Adelaide spirit in.
Because you're not getting the apology from him tonight.
So
I tried as hard as I could to get it out of him, but he's not going to give it to you. So you're going to endure another 3-4 years of this too.
Yeah.
So you better lift your game.
Get rid of Don Pike and then we'll talk.
You really don't.
Listen, I thought about this all day, and the West Coast, they're an arrogant organisation. That group that's above them, they were a once proud club. After they won that premiership, you could argue that since the AFL era, they are the most successful club. And they still are up there.
Well, they got 6.
You'd argue Hawthorn, Geelong, and West Coast. That's the 3 clubs.
Probably Brisbane as well.
Brisbane getting there. Yeah, they're getting...
They've got 4 now. So
yep.
Brisbane,
yeah. Unfair to Brisbane. I should have included them there in that conversation.
Yeah.
They've killed that club completely. Like I said, statistics prove that this 4-year run they're on, I was quite staggered when I saw this. I'll see if I can dig up the stat, and if I can, I'll thread it in here, that they are the worst 4-year consecutive performing team in the history of the AFL.
Worst?
Yep.
Wow.
So,
is that just AFL, or is that VFL?
Yeah, that was, I think, I'm not going to say yet until I can find that. I'll dig that stat up, but regardless, even if it is
some bad teams, and if you're telling me they are the worst year performing team.
And you talk about the Gold Coast, the GWS when they first come in, and their young teams. Oh my God, that is deplorable.
Yep. Okay.
So again, I look back at them on the weekend, and what young players impressed you? It was hard to sort of pick. I could say Ginby, I could say McCarthy, but it was driven a lot by Tim Kelly in the midfield. He had something like 12 to 14 clearances.
Yeah, he did. He had a good game.
Yeah.
And that's what they've lacked for most of the year. They've lacked him. Him in the midfield.
He's now become a 1 or 2 game player a season. Then he comes up and he shows, this is what I can do. It's so frustrating.
They paid so much to get him over. I don't think he's paid him back at all in any way. I don't believe so. But anyway.
So look, before we kick on to the next topic, because I know you want to move on, what is this thing about you wanting to apologise? You sounding...
I'm apologising because you're not apologising.
No.
That's why I'm apologising, because I said to a couple of West Coast supporters, I would get you. So I'm apologising to you guys for not...
We said earlier in the season after the Collingwood game, someone asked for me to apologise. What are we doing? One win for the season. And it looks like it's going to stay that way for the remainder of the season. So do we really apologise? And look, as bad as what they are
only... I'm sorry, mate. It's just 2 words. I'm sorry.
Absolutely not. This is the most even competition in the world. What are we doing? We shouldn't be apologising.
I know. Anyway,
are they West Coast fans that are asking for an apology?
They are.
Oh, God. I feel sorry for you guys then. Listen, you guys must be as frustrated. I'm a neutral support. I don't support them, but to see the great West Coast Eagles to fall as bad as what they are, it shouldn't be that way.
Dougie and Dan, I apologise on behalf of Liam for not apologising, for him not apologising, as I promised you.
I feel sorry for your club choice.
Move on. All right. So my frustration from Saturday night, our game, whatever you want to call it.
Hang on. Let me say, because I know we're
go in.
The umpires. And in particular, that mark in the forward line. That pretty much cost you the game.
Pretty much cost us the game. That was what? 7, 8.
And look, the reason why I cut in then is because I don't want you to seem like he's complaining about it. I said at the time, the umpires have cost you the game here.
You absolutely said that. You sent me 2 messages. You said in the first quarter, at the start of the game, you said they're against you. And then in the last quarter, you sent me another message saying they cost you the game. And if my shoe didn't go through the television, that message probably prompted me to at least put it back on, because I thought, okay, well, at least someone else is seeing it, and it's not just me.
No.
And how that happens is beyond me. I just don't get it. Like, how could you have paid that mark? It was so short. There was just no way, no rationale of saying, it was borderline or anything. It was just absolute crap. And I'm sick of that. I really am. I'm sick of marks that are not being paid when they're clearly over 20 meters. And then you get something like that, and I just don't get it. Look, this is a professional fucking sport, and these guys are fucking it up. And it's not because it's sport. I have this opinion over every single game I watch. The umpires are destroying our game, and I'm sick to death of it. And the quicker Swanee fixes this up, gets in there, and he said that's his number 1 priority, the better, because I know I'm not the only person who's sick of watching this game being damaged by a bunch of idiots who can't tell the difference between 8 or 9 meters and 20.
And look, that, for you guys, that doesn't mean anything. So you're not making...
It doesn't mean anything.
But for Fremantle, that just...
That's it, exactly. And that's the thing now. They're absolutely... They were one of the teams that was in the fight for that top 8.
I was watching that game on the weekend thinking, they're dropping this. They've got to play Brisbane at home. They're losing.
They should have dropped that game. Which clearly... I don't want to say we were the better team. That first quarter was an absolute debacle, but that second quarter, that's absolutely blew me away, the way we cleared that ball, and we were just, Lukosius, you even text me, Lukosius, and you
got him,
and I'm like, seriously, some of those goals were just great, and that's how I wanted them to play. That's how you want your team.
Yeah, that game, watching Lukosius play, does
and then what happens?
Ridiculous stuff, and it's just, that's typical Lukosius. Shows you what he can do. It's a microwave.
This is whiskey, by the way.
Whiskey,
Johnny,
a microwave.
Johnny Black.
Oh man, keep watching. You never know what's going to happen next. Lukosius doesn't chase hard, doesn't take marks that he should be taking. kicks ridiculous goals out of his backside, and then exclamation point, injury. That is loquacious to a T. What was it? Injury number 3.
3 this year. Yeah. Missed 16. I think he missed 14 or 16 weeks the first time.
First round pick, which is looking quite juicy for you guys this year. Gold Coast.
Gone.
Yeah.
Absolutely
oh my goodness.
And we could have used it to get, Wangani Miller over.
Yeah, exactly. That's going to be a crucial pick. Well, lost.
Yeah.
I will say, so one of the other complaints coming from supporters watching the game, they look to the free kick count and they see you guys won it quite convincingly by about 10 or something.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
But I would say I didn't really, and I again, I'm speaking as a neutral perspective, and that's why I want to carry this can here. Though I didn't feel like there was a big favourable difference to Port. I actually felt watching the game without looking at the free kicks that you guys were shafted because of the impact of the free kicks when they were, how they were paid, and of course the way it ended. And that's not a free kick. That's a mark that was paid that shouldn't have been paid.
Should have been. Yeah, exactly.
And there was also a play. Was it Sarong on the wing?
Yeah.
So he, in the dying stage, and that led to the goal, didn't it? Because it got recalled.
It led to the
Yeah. What was that? Was that a mark or was that a free kick? I still haven't determined, but there was no real.
Well, I didn't hear the call there. You're right. So I don't know what they paid there.
Obviously, he thought he needed to play on, so he's played on anyway.
Yeah, because he thought time's running out.
Yeah, he didn't complain when it got turned over. Yeah. But then the umpires called it back, and then the ball goes into the 450. Right. Mark Pierce, game over.
Yep. Look, at best, we were going to draw that game.
Yeah.
Simple as that. At best, we were going to draw.
Look,
and I would have been, you know what, I'm one of those who believes we shouldn't have draws in this game, but if we drew that game, I would have walked away semi-happy.
Yeah.
A draw's better than a loss, I guess.
Yeah, no, it is. And you deserved a little bit of reward for the effort you put in because unlike West Coast, you played with a decent game style. And so you deserve to be rewarded. What I would say is fan IQ, again, we've spoken about this a couple of weeks in the season. Yeah, this is an all-time low, isn't it?
It is.
And it's driven by stupid media that, last week the Hawks were doom and gloom. This week they win. Premiership favourites. The Crows have a really scratchy window at West Coast. Yeah. They're out in straight sets. Yeah. What is going on?
Look, it'll change next week. We've got the question coming up anyway. I don't want to preempt.
Look, and I don't give a crap because it doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things because once finals start, seedings are off. All bets are off.
Yeah.
But this nonsense that week to week, all of a sudden the premiership favourite changes and this and that. Yeah. Again, I'd prefer everyone saying, Hawthorn's favourites for the flag, Geelong's favourites for the flag, because then the Crows can sort of slide on.
No, they're not. And you know what? I don't think at any point, even after that West Coast game, that you guys shouldn't be still favourites.
Yeah. It was interesting. I don't know if you, because I think you're working on the weekend, but pre-game, Will Schofield, again, West Coast legend, said that he couldn't understand why the Crows aren't being considered as one of the teams.
Well, they are. In the betting markets, they are.
Well, in the betting markets, they are, but the way they're spoken about in the media. And again, it's
because they want to play you down. They absolutely want to play. They're only going to play the Victorian teams up. They're not going to play, they want to play the interstate sides.
And again, happy for them to do that, but it's just
anybody
the nonsense.
Anybody who knows the game knows that you guys are pecking order is you guys are at number 1. And then whatever's below that has to be Geelong next. Has to be Hawks, maybe third. I don't know.
Now,
I'll say this.
Yeah, look, I'll
Freo, they're talking about Freo flying under the radar. No one's even looking at Freo. They reckon they're the team that
because Freo's
people need to start taking notice of.
They're not convincing at all. Carlton last week.
Yeah.
Port this weekend. Yeah. Like, what the hell?
Yeah. Yeah, no, and look, maybe Freo are a team that's looking towards the finals and they're thinking, but we just need to get through the next couple of games and then we're playing finals. Like,
but they've got to be careful.
I know, they've definitely got to be careful. They've got 2 tough games coming up, like Brisbane. So that the setup for the last 2 weeks and in Gold Coast 3 weeks or 3 games is going to be just amazing to watch, I think.
Yeah.
This could go so many different ways. There's so many teams who could make it, and there's like out of that top 9 who've got an opportunity to make it, and there's so many teams that can fall out now.
Yeah.
Like GWS are in trouble. If they lose to Gold Coast, they fall a game behind. It's all over. Well, I can't see them getting back in the 8, so they could be the team. Brisbane lose both, and GWS wins 1. No, well, anyway, we'll cover that off because that's one of our questions.
Ooh, yeah, it is.
So,
but we'll close the fan IQ thing off by saying if you've watched Two Loose Cannons, your IQ is through the roof.
Absolutely. So, Goody.
Yeah.
What was your take on?
Well, you called it the week before that he was going to get the sack. But
I've been for the death threat. Yeah.
And I, again, harp back, wrong call. The media has said it's the wrong call. So I think we were on track when we saw it.
After that St Kilda game, that was just a poor, what was it, 2.5 minutes, 4 minutes, whatever it turned out to be. So now we've seen teams like we did Hawthorn last year with that last kick by Burn Jones when we were down by whatever it was, 6 goals, 7 goals, I can't remember. And we came from nowhere to win it with 2 seconds left or whatever it was. No one came out and said, Mitchell did that. No, they did. You know, I mean, come on. But so that happens. Teams get overrun. Let's face it. And good teams get overrun too. So, but Melbourne, I think they were, and if you listen to the board said they feel like they've got a finals team. So whoever's taking that job on, be very wary because they're expecting you to make finals next year.
What are Goodman saying? We're making finals next year. We're going to contend. Now, whether or not that was going to happen,
but is it just did they just see it as just another year of him saying we're going to play finals next year, we're going to contend? Because this is what the second year they've missed out.
I still think they're going to struggle just simply because people they don't have enough.
So what do you do if you're because there's 2 now? They reckon
it's down to 2, isn't it?
Well, that's Ken. Well, they reckon Ken's going to go to Carlton now. He might go as the coaching director.
Yeah.
So they reckon he might end up at Carlton. So Bucks is the front runner. Mm-hmm. Now, I listened to him today on Waitley, and he was like, I'm still considering it. But Longmire and the old West Coast coach, Simpson,
they pulled out.
Pulled out. Both said, no, we're not interested. Now, is that because the board has come out and said we expect to play finals? And they're looking at that list and thinking, well, I'm going to have to move Oliver on. I'm going to have to move the truck as well.
Oh, there's massive cultural issues.
You know, what do we do with some of these forwards who aren't performing? What do we like? You keep your 2 mate backmen in May and Lever, obviously. You probably keep Gorn. You know, so who would kill us about team? And you might end up getting rid of, and the board doesn't want you to get rid of.
No, they don't.
And
who would you consider Melbourne's best player?
Gorn.
So
it'll be
some people see Petrarca.
It'll be Gorn or May. Not Petrarca, not this year.
No, not this year. No. And I think that's largely because the injuries come off last year. That it's just taken them a while.
Yeah.
You know.
But if you'd asked me that a couple of years back, I would have said Petrarca.
So when you've got the caliber of Petrarca wanting out, that's not a good sign. That really isn't. What head coach wants to come in and have to...
But what are you going to get for him? That's the thing. So as a head coach,
question marks.
You could almost be rubbing your hands together thinking, he wants out. There might be a couple of players I could get. But I think a couple of ready-mades, or there could be a couple of really nice picks that we can get some really good kids in. So,
but given him
there's opportunity,
he's going to come a little bit cheaper. And given that he's not, is his career trajectory going down?
Well, that's the question we don't know.
Yeah,
that's the one thing that
if I'm trading for him, I'm going you know.
If you're asking me, and if he was coming to Port. And you said to me, would you take Petrarca? I'd ask you 2 questions. What are we giving up? And how much does he want?
Yeah.
That'd be my only 2 questions.
I'd say no today. I'd say no.
Yeah, but if you're telling me we're going to make a straight swap with either Miles Bergman or Butters to get him in, I'm an automatic no. But if you're telling me we could offload some of the, the lesser likes and he's going to be costing us around about the 750, I'd probably say, yeah, cool.
If Melbourne's paying half his wage like Collingwood did for, then I'd consider. But given how much Melbourne are likely going to ask for him, I couldn't consider it. Just because there's no confidence in where he's heading. Is it the injury that he's coming off, or is he just in a extended decline?
Well, it could be that he's just he just sees the team going nowhere. So it could be one of those instances where he's just gone.
Because Oliver's sort of come back as well. So I don't know. I don't know.
Yep. Well, it's interesting, isn't it? Since they sorted out the whole drug issues with him and they've cleaned him up, he's definitely gone backwards, hasn't he?
He has.
So is there a correlation between the recreational stuff he used to do and his performances? You know what I mean? Like
Ben Cousins prelim final, Amy Stadium rings the bell.
So is it? I always harp, and someone said to me, what do you mean by that? I said, well, I was held back to Tiger Woods. At his peak, the bloke was, we know what happened.
Yeah.
He was hiring prostitutes all over the place. And he was at the top of his game. The minute he got caught and everything happened to him, you look at the trajectory, he went straight down. So is it part of the lifestyle that fuels your performance? Or is it just coincidence that when that lifestyle stops, whether it's drugs or
well, it was a pretty
open
sort of slather. Everyone came for him. So confidence-wise,
but I don't think he was ever like on the field, on the course.
Yeah, thinking about what was happening.
That's right. He's not.
But that's what really kind of feel like.
Maybe. I don't know. So that's the question. So is it the lifestyle that fuels the performance, or is it does it have nothing to do with it? So I said to that to someone, I said, well, look at the trajectory once that stopped.
Yeah.
Look at how his performances have been since he went into rehab. They stopped that side of his life. There's no more recreational stuff happening.
All I would say is
declined over the years. It has.
All I would say is the nose beers of the Crows didn't help us.
Well, of course not. And but there were those who performed better, and you brought it up, Ben Cousins.
Yeah.
Who performed such a high
happened at half time. I would love to know.
Well, you never. I don't.
Yeah. No, we'll go to the grave.
Yeah. So, all right. Let's move on to your question about. So we got a question regarding Charlie Cameron. So his performance. Did you watch the game at all?
No, I didn't. You didn't? But I have seen Charlie Cameron this year, and I have seen him not as sharp. So this is heading where it's heading.
Yeah. So I looked into it because when I got the question, I thought, well, let's have a look. So I looked into it, and he looked totally disinterested. Like he just looked like he didn't even want to be out there. So are we looking at a guy who's been surpassed by Logan Morris and Rayner, and therefore knows that his time's coming up? Or is it someone who's just waiting for finals to come around and then he'll click?
I don't think
a level.
I don't think so. I don't think in that case. Remember this? It was either one of our first couple of podcasts. We talked about Brisbane and their forward line and their lack of tolls and quality tolls, and how they had a lot of medium and small forwards that were very much I'm not Charlie Cameron types.
Yeah.
But they have that sort of X factor. They've got a little bit of speed. It's very similar.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's sort of been lost in the pack a bit. And I think he's getting on. Maybe that 20-meter burst that he once had that he was able to burn defenders.
Yeah.
I think back to the game that we played them here, he hardly got away from Michael Lanning in that one.
Yeah, so he doesn't have that anymore. Definitely.
Prime Charlie Cameron buzz. He buys those meters and gets free. Yeah. I think that's where it lies. And those other boys are getting away from their defenders because they've got that person. Why would you go for the guy that's struggling to burn his man when you've got a Morris and a Rayner free?
That's right. So is it time for him to spend some time in the, whatever it is, they play whatever the reserves is?
I don't know. I still think he can use it.
Or is it the VFL? I don't know.
It depends what Charlie Cameron's going to show up. If you're getting the Sookie Charlie Cameron, you flog off to the seconds.
Yeah. Well, look, I think that,
because he'll still take a good defender.
Yeah, you're right. And that's the thing, though. Is that right? So does he have value in the team by the fact that they will put someone on him because he does have that explosiveness.
Reputation.
Where 10, 15 minutes could absolutely blow the game apart.
Exactly.
And is that what they're hoping for? Is that what Brisbane's hoping for? That just find that form and get his confidence and be the old Charlie. But I agree with you about his explosiveness.
Yeah.
He doesn't have that anymore. That's gone. And when that goes and defenders are right on you, you struggle. So
yeah, and you've hit the nail on the head. Look, he doesn't need to play really click in finals, but it's those moments, isn't it?
Yeah, so he just has to have that. You've spotted.
Yep.
But he was touted as the next Eddie Betts. He's not going to go anywhere near it. Not anywhere near it.
So will Brisbane miss the finals?
I've got a feeling they could be that ninth team.
So who have they got?
Freo.
Yeah. And that's in Western Australia.
That's in Western Australia. And the last game, let's have a look. I can't think of what the last game was. I apologise for this.
Have another chug while you're at it.
Yeah. I will. I need another scotch. And then in round 24, they have...
This is what Crows at the top of the ladder does to you, eh?
Yep. Makes my brain go thick. They got Hawthorn.
Oh, God.
At the Gabba.
Yeah.
So all three teams are in the fight for that.
Yeah. Yeah, and I suspect Hawthorn win this week and then challenge for the 4.
So that 2 points, or the draw against North Melbourne could be what's going to cost them in the end. But their percentage isn't great. So out of the top 8, I'm looking at this, they've got the worst, they have. They've got the worst percentage out of all the top 8 teams.
That's not a good sign.
No.
You know, they often say percentage is what determines how good you are.
And the thing that's going to help them is that teams like GWS and Gold Coast are playing each other.
Yep.
You know, you guys are playing Collingwood. So there's a few.
Who did Collingwood play in the last week?
They got Carlton.
Yeah, okay. So that's why people aren't suspecting. But if they lost that, Carlton won a pile of misery on.
Yeah.
That's one game that they could get up for.
That is one game they definitely would get up for. I can see that happening.
So let's go the Crows this weekend, eh?
Well, you know,
if you're neutral, you should be, neutral that's not Collingwood supporter, you should be barricaded for us.
Absolutely.
You won't be getting a ticket download over, sold out capacity.
So them and Fremantle have the 2 toughest games coming home.
Yeah.
And everybody seems to think it'll come down to that game, I think.
Yeah.
That game against Hawthorn. If they lose this weekend to Freo, it'll be the Hawthorn game that'll determine.
And yet, the last match of round 24, what was that again? That's the Bulldogs versus someone.
That's the Bulldogs, and
because the AFL was setting that up, thinking that was going to be the game
that's right.
Decide for the
absolutely.
It's not GWS because they play, but it's
not GWS.
Team in a similar situation.
I was just looking at it, and then of course I closed it, didn't I? So it is Bulldogs and Dockers. That's right. So the Dockers have got the Bulldogs. So we've got Brisbane this week, and then they've got the Dockers the following week.
That'll be a cracking game to finish.
So you could just see that how important that Port win was to them.
Yeah,
they lose that, and then they have to face Brisbane and the Bulldogs, and that could have almost meant season over had they lost to Port.
So, these next 2 weeks are going to be massive. It's going to be huge.
You know, and then you've got, of course, Gold Coast having to come through and play and that extra game against Essendon midweek.
Don't dare say West Coast are our finals. That's never going to happen.
Gold Coast. You know, so look, there's so many things that could happen here. It's just, and then that GWS and Gold Coast game is just huge.
It's massive.
Absolutely huge now.
So,
so if you're asking me, is Brisbane the team that's more likely to miss the finals? They've got injuries in the back line. I'll tell you, they can't kick a goal. They had 65 inside 50s and they couldn't do anything with them. So possibly, yes.
Yeah. I'll tell you someone who will be barracking for Brisbane to win this weekend, and that's McGovern's son. And he will flip the bird if...
That was brilliant footage. I love that. And I saw it got taken down by X.
Why?
I don't know. It was on X. I flicked it to you over X.
Yeah, I was going to open up. Yeah,
that's right. You said to me, "What's this? There's nothing there." I opened it up. That was gone. It was removed.
What the hell?
And then you obviously you found it and saw it.
Yeah.
There's this. I don't know how old he was. He looked about 7, 8. And McGovern's waving to the crowd. He's not even checking out what the kid's doing. And there's this kid walking around the boundary, flipping the bird like he's a reed. You know?
Oh, he's a smart man. They're all West Coast supporters, you know. But he did you notice he knew when to stop?
I did notice that. I did. But very smooth. That is West Coast to a T. That is Harley Reid influencing the children of
the West.
Definitely. So there you go.
Yeah, you're going.
A bit of Bailey Smith and a bit of involved there.
So we've got a special question from
Paul, and it's to Ross.
Do you want me to read it or not?
Go on.
How much do the Crows get over Collingwood on the weekend?
So, my opinion.
And by the way, Paul is a real person. It's not me, is it?
No, Paul is. Paul's my brother-in-law. So he wants to know, and he doesn't want to hear from you because he thinks that you'll underplay this. And Paul is a Collingwood, a Crow supporter. Sorry,
he's got cool.
So, in my opinion, after watching that Hawthorn game, I think if Hawthorn can beat them by 10 plus, I think you guys could beat it by 12 to 14 goals at home. What's the conditions? Do you know what the conditions are going to be like on the weekend?
Wet.
Okay with that. Well, even the wet, when you played us in the wet, didn't bother you at all.
So, no, but it takes out the aerial advantage. That's one we got over a lot of teams. And the way Collingwood's tall forward line, tall backman, without how cutting across and taking those marks, they're right for the pick.
Yeah. Look, the only thing I can think of is that if Bo McCleary and
a bit of speed.
Yeah. They need that, and Bobby Hill, if they're in that speed on the ball.
But you know what? We didn't look all that quick on the weekend.
Yeah.
It's a mindset thing. Remember this happened earlier this year when they went to GWS round 0.
Yeah.
And then they played you guys round 1. Everyone said they were slow, they were old, and what happened the following week?
That's right.
It's a mindset thing.
It is.
And I'm not saying that that's going to happen this weekend, but I can see Collingwood getting up and about for it. And they know that they drop this game, they're vulnerable to miss the 8.
Yeah.
And they don't want to leave it to
I think someone said they can't miss the 8. I think that's what I heard. I don't know. I'd need to go look at the ladder and obviously check it over again. But my understanding is even if they lose the next 2 games, they can't drop out of the 8.
Wouldn't it be a great story if they
did? It would.
After being after
8 weeks ago, their fans saying, give us the cup now, it's all over.
Yeah. And I can assure you, no Crow supporters doing that. So
I can assure you that plenty of Crow supporters are saying that. Trust me.
Not too loose cannons, Crow supporters, all right?
I hang around a few Crow supporters where I live, and they are all up and about, and every single one of them is booking their grand final tickets and saying, you might as well just hand it to us.
I hope that they've exhausted the allocation for that's I don't like hearing those stories. Because the players here.
My missus is a mad Crow supporter, and I've been trying as hard as I can to get tickets. And unless you're willing to spend $4.5 to $5 each, so $10 for 2 tickets for an overnight stay and fly out Sunday morning, then forget about it. It's not happening. So anyway, let's move on.
Should we turn on our manifestation?
Yeah, we're looking for 38. So yeah, manifestation. Let's go.
I told you that needs a 6-month working for that to work.
So do you want to ask the next question? So how many games?
Oh, okay. Is that Shield?
Shield.
Yeah, how many games does Shield get for? And is 2 enough for Duggan's hit on Thilthorpe? So Shield's incident was where he pushed his own teammate. No, it was his opposition player. Got completely wiped out. Yep. And the AFL's been looking for an incident like this to send to the tribunal. So,
well, there was a Richmond player who got 3 weeks. So,
usually when it goes to tribunal, what is it, 3 to 5 and even more?
Definitely, it's more than 2. That's for sure. Yeah. So, what do you think it deserved? So, I've got 3 questions here. What do you think it deserves? 1. What do you think the AFL want to achieve by the suspension?
Well, that's an easy one. Yeah.
And will they make an example of it?
Easy. So, look, I don't know how much he deserves, but I reckon it'd probably be, I'm going to say 3 for the AFL.
All right.
But I really think if they want to really make a statement and they really want to make this an example of not to do it, go 5.
Okay.
Your thoughts?
I think they'll settle on 4.
4, yeah.
Because then, like I said, I can't remember who the Richmond player was. You got 3. They're going to look at that and go, well, we gave him 3. We thought that would be a deterrent. Obviously, it hasn't. Let's bump this up to 4. It wouldn't surprise me if they go, let's bump it up to 5 either. But I think if they push for 5, they give Essendon an opportunity to appeal it. And I think 3 is probably maybe not enough to say we don't want to see this anymore. And I think 4 is the number they settle on.
Do you know what I'm
with the AFL?
And that's what I was about to say. You know what I'm sick of? Guessing what the AFL is going to do.
That's right.
There's no clear boundaries. There's no clear hierarchy.
No, I'm with you.
We've said it numerous times. The bloody thing that they use to calibrate these suspensions is broken.
Yeah. And Duggan, did you think 2 was enough?
Look, it's probably on par. Thilthorpe came back on and won the match. If he didn't,
if he doesn't,
give him life.
So if he doesn't, what does he get?
Life.
Not life. Seriously.
He should get life for intent anyway, taking out the greatest player in the AFL.
If Tilthorpe doesn't come back on, I think we're talking 4 to 5. Yeah.
I don't know. That was pretty intense because the way he held his neck and he got checked out.
We were right.
Yeah. Again, he could have put him in a wheelchair. Could have killed him.
Well, it's a dangerous game, and we've had players previously not play again or end up. Yeah.
But that hit.
Matty Bowe comes to mind when I think about guys who sustained injuries on the field and never played again. So,
The bit that pissed me off is you've seen the footage. There was only one intent, and that was to take him out.
Well,
and that's not in modern football anymore. So put it away.
You're right. It's not in modern football.
Yeah, I'm taking this one personally.
Had he taken him out and Tilthorpe couldn't have come back on the field, West Coast win that game. Absolutely win that game. Because you're right, he got you over the line.
Yeah, well.
It was out him. Because what did you text me? Thank God Tilthorpe's back on the field. And had he not come back on, I reckon, God, I don't know if you get over the line.
I'm still wetting myself over that mark and kick from outside 60. We'll call it 70.
We'll call it 20. Well,
call it 20. Oh my God, what a player.
Let's move
on. What a player. Hang on. Weekly check. Is Tilthorpe a better player than Darcy?
At the moment.
It's mad. He's genuinely winning matches.
At the moment, yes. I said at the moment.
Oh, look, I know.
You got what you wanted.
I'm just making sure this message gets out.
But
all Australian.
At the end of it all, I don't know you'd be able to separate them. Anyways, well, time will tell, obviously.
Look, appreciate them for what they are.
Yeah.
They're both cool. Tall forwards, both very different, both good players.
And you know what? They're so different to body shape and what they do up and down the ground.
Yeah.
So, they're both, the only thing they have in common is that they play forward, basically. That's it.
I'll tell you what they're both going to get in their next contract, and that's ching, 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 ching.
Dollar bills.
And we've got someone that's upset that dollar bills are getting thrown around at St Kilda, and he's not in the picture.
If he can come over, and that's Wilkie, by the way.
Cam Wilkie.
So you know.
We're just too busy throwing out cash.
And so he's more than welcome to come over with Wangani Miller and Port will have him, and we'll be part of a deal that if he wants dollar bills, we're happy to bring him over, and we'll send Butters to St Kilda, and we'll take Wangani Miller and Wilkie.
Is that really an upgrade, though?
It's not an upgrade, but it's definitely, it's got to get the deal done. I guarantee you that. So I don't know where this is going to go with Wangani Miller.
Get out to training and force an answer out of Butters.
Everything I'm understanding is that the club wants to deal Butters this year where they can
of course
maximum, absolute maximum value for him, because next year you're not going to get maximum value. So if they can do a deal with St Kilda that's going to bring someone like Wangani Miller plus some picks or plus another player that they want, they're going to do it for Butters. They are.
And look, here's the thing.
So, or there's going to be a third team involved.
I think your list manager, no, probably won't. No. But your list manager has a lot of making up to do. This is where you can reshape your list for the next 10 years.
Absolutely. But I keep saying to you, we can't lose major pieces to bring in.
No, but if he's going anyway, this.
I understand that. And he is. And everything I hear, everything he's saying is pointing towards the fact that he's out. He's out at the end of next year. 26, he's gone. So I don't see, as much as it hurts to see him go, he's going anyway. Deal him now when you can get something for it.
Yeah, of course.
Then, and find out where he wants to go. And by everything I'm hearing, it's Hawthorn.
And
Hawthorn's the team he
wants to go to. Here's the thing. Well, I also heard that Hawthorn's into what? Reed?
They're into everyone.
Yeah, they're into every blue chip midfielder that's
and every West Coast forward that they can get their hands on. So don't forget about that.
Yeah. So Wilkie, does he have a right to be upset that they're flashing 1.7 for Miller?
Look, egos get involved, and of course you look at it and you think, well, what about me? And there's this,
and then Lee Kalia from GWS, another defender who's getting big coin, and he's been at the club serving that club loyally.
Yep, that's right. But sometimes that's what happens. Like if you how many times are you with Optus or you with Telstra or you with Vodafone or whatever,
all the time,
and they say, hey, come to us and we'll give you this great deal. And you think, wait on, what about me? I've been with you for 10 years. I've been loyal.
Precisely.
You're giving me nothing except putting it up every year because you're thinking I'll get more out of this bloke. So it happens everywhere, mate.
So cash and WNBA, and now dildos on the court.
Dildos on the court.
What in the world?
Well, I don't know who came up with this idea to throw these bright green dildos on the courts.
They're choosing the right colours that stand out, aren't they?
Yeah. Look, I don't know what to say about it. When I first saw it, I laughed, and it was just a reaction. I just thought, what?
Why?
What is going on?
It's more of a case of why.
Exactly. Like, what? Who did that? And then it starts happening. I think we've had 4. Is it 4 now?
Yeah.
4 occasions where someone has thrown a dildo onto the court.
And wasn't this after the first couple, the NBA said they're going to bag check?
Yeah.
How are they still squeezing them in?
Well,
packing them down there.
They're squeezing them in.
Oh, I don't know. I haven't got room in my pants for
neither have I, so that's
no problems here.
I've had the strap on the yeah. Anyway, let's get back to the subject.
Well, here's the thing: are we at risk of having copycat behavior?
Well, I was going to say I don't think so, because the cameras will pick up.
Yeah,
throws it.
Yeah.
So this is the thing: at the games, I would have thought they would have had cameras on the crowd and they could see who was actually throwing out there. But to my knowledge, no one's been caught actually throwing them that I know of. I could be wrong.
Hang on, wasn't there an 18-year-old kid that got arrested?
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
I think that's right.
That did. Yeah, that did. Sorry.
What's he going to get for that, though?
So I don't know. Well, I mean, what is it? What's the offence?
And
that's my point.
I
don't know. So if I threw a piece of paper, or if I threw an apple, or if I threw a can of drink on the court, or at a player, let's go back to the AFL. If I threw a drink at a player, what did I get? I probably get a life ban.
You just get ejected.
Yeah, ejected. I probably well, I don't know about a life ban. I might get a 5-year ban from all AFL, whatever games it is, and I might cop a fine.
So thinking back to the last time WWE was in town, you get told not to throw stuff.
That's right.
Otherwise you get ejected.
Yep.
That's probably where it's at. Just an ejection.
Yeah, that's right.
But if they wanted to make an example, they're going to have to create a law for that, aren't they?
Yeah. Well, look, and so can it happen? Maybe. I could see someone perhaps trying it, but I only think it'll take one person to get caught. And
look, I get it. It's a difficult thing for the NBA to sort of legislate against. What would they do?
Yeah. But it brings eyes. So this is the thing, though. It's that double-edged sword, because
we're talking about WNBA right now.
That's right. So it brings eyes to the game, but it's for the wrong reason.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's that double-edged sword where, okay, we're getting extra viewers, but we're only getting extra viewers because they want to see whether someone does that.
Well, it's like the Sydney Sweeney ad at the moment. That, any publicity is good.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Are you pro that ad or not?
Well, I've seen it.
You've seen it?
I'll just stop it. I've seen it.
Well, I see nothing wrong with that, but again, it's very different here to what it is like in America.
Have you seen that? See that it spawns this copycat thing on
nonsense.
TikTok and Instagram and all that sort of stuff. So,
look, I could do without
culturally. That's where they say, well, it's bad because it's now all this generation of young girls are now copycatting it.
Well, look, I'm just going to say I'm thankful that now that I don't have to put up with any more Lizzo on ads.
Okay, fair enough.
How much time we got left? Oh, God, we're at the 48-minute mark here.
Aussies versus South Africa.
Oh, yeah,
so
they're going to go from the first ball.
Yeah. So do you think that's a good tactic, go and blast from the first ball?
It's working.
So give us the stats of the power plays.
Yeah, so look, I don't know if it was 66 or 76, but basically at the end of the power play, Australia are 10 runs ahead of the next closest nation, India, and then I think another couple runs, England, who's third. So it's working. You are, before we come on air, you said wickets.
That's right, and that's what it felt. That's exactly right.
And it will backfire one day.
So, yeah.
But at the moment, they're you know that they've just completed their most winning streaks in a row. Like that's most games won in a row.
Yeah.
So they've set a record for that. So it's working at the moment. Continue.
Yeah. Well, look, and look, if you had a marsh fire at the top, you could be seeing over 250 if they get going, and then you get Owen and David going.
Yeah.
You know, like that batting line. I looked at that batting line. Ingles there. You know, like that. Maxwell, if he gets going, although I do think Maxwell's on the decline.
Yeah.
If these guys get going, score could be anything. But See, if you're just going to blast from the start, and the bowler knows that, that's the other thing. So if you're now knowing that these guys are going to go for it, you change your approach to it.
You do, but South Africa's world class. Rabada,
that's right.
Tim Dave coming in down first bowl charging and puts him into bloody
Well, what were we texting? How bad is this? Like we were looking at it and looking at that, and you said to me, I was going to watch it, but now I'm not bother.
Don't tell them.
Right, but look what happens. So it only takes, and this is my point when we're talking about the strikers. It only takes one batsman. It only takes one bowler to come out and be consistent over a tournament. And you go from ordinary to being a decent side. And that's what Tim David did. He made you.
And you highlight the batters James then. This is the first Australian team that I can honestly say have match winners from 1 through to
exactly. They do. They do. Absolutely. I looked at that lineup and I thought, wow, if any of these guys get going, who knows where they could.
It's always prime West Indian when you got guys where we're winning T20. Gale at the top and it batted all the way down to bloody number 10. And you just go bang, 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 bang. That's similar to now what we've got. Because even if I don't know what the bowlers are going to look like, but someone like Dwarshuis coming in that can talk a bowl.
Yeah, that's right.
Big bowl. God, the batting depth, it's all of a sudden looking like, okay, who cares if the first 5 fail? Someone's going to score eventually.
Right. You got Owen, so looking down at 6 and 7, Owen and David there, those two get going.
And if multiple fire, like you said, it can carry you into 250.
Get about. You might not need anybody to bat Marsh and get going. So, so
happy with that?
Keep going as long as you can, I guess, until it works. Like baseball is probably not working anymore. I think we both agree with that. But
baseball doesn't apply to white ball cricket.
I know it doesn't, but I'm just saying you can have that advantage for a little while, but the bowlers will catch up. And if they do know that that's what you're going to do,
mate, this red ball, Ronald McDonald bowl
totally changed the way that bowled you. So, what's your final shot?
Yeah, I was going to say that. So I've got Gold Coast against GWS. Shaking up the finals.
Yep. So you think Gold Coast are going to take GWS out of it?
Yeah, I'm not going to give them too much for next explanation because I'm running over time. But yeah.
Well, I've gone Sydney to beat Geelong, but then I remembered Grundy's out. So now I'm sort of regretting going Sydney.
Well, quickly.
No, because my only other choice would have been Brisbane to bounce back, but I don't. With that back line, I don't think Brisbane can bounce back and beat Freo. So I'll stick with Sydney because I think that midfield, if they get a taste of it, and Geelong don't have a dominant rushman.
No, and the one thing that they do struggle with is the midfield. We've highlighted several times. So yeah.
So I'm going to stick with Sydney to beat Geelong in Sydney.
All right.
So what's the difference between a mammoth and a cookie?
I thought there wasn't one.
Try dipping a mammoth in your tea. Good night. Thank you, Lockie.